So he says, Bat Paro understood that if this child was the one that was zocheh to be saved, and be saved to the Bet HaMalchut and so forth, right? Then it must be that his destiny is to be Moshe Acherim. She understood that it wasn't just a coincidence and a mikre. Otherwise, he's a mashui, right? But he's a mashui that's going to be a Moshe. So my pshat is that if Bat Paro understood that, then for sure Moshe Rabbeinu understood it. Moshe Rabbeinu understood that he was saved, not just to be saved. He was saved in order to be a Moshe Achirim, and that was Moshe Rabbeinu for his whole lifetime. I think that in our generation, in our times, all of us could say that we are Mashui Mimayim. Baruch Hashem, we're survivors. We're survivors of the Mayim Zidonim, of the floodwaters, of the world, of a terrible society around us, every day going down and down. And it is a pele that Klal Yisrael continues to blossom and to flourish and to grow in spite of all the tum'ah and all the craziness that goes on around us. One advantage we have nowadays, it's very easy to have kavanah to say Shelo Asani Goy. Maybe once upon a time, maybe there was a hashash that a person might envy the goy. He's intelligent and he's polite and he's Shelo Asani Goy. That's an easy one now. But my point is that we should all feel that it's also not mikre, it's not an accident, that we're survivors. We're survivors from the memabul of the times that we're in. And just as we say Moshe Rabbeinu, right? We also have to realize that we're here for a purpose. We're here to help Klal Yisrael in whatever way we can. One of the best ways is what goes on right here in this room. We're very proud of all of you, especially of Benoliel. Torah is a big zechut. I think that I saw once in the name of Rav Aaron Kotler, that's all, that the Talmud Torah Kened Kulam is in a paragraph. It's in a Mishnah that enumerates a lot of chasadim, all kinds of gemulut chasadim, bikur cholim, and so forth. And Talmud Torah Kened Kulam, Rav Aaron said, because it's Kened Kulam in the chesed, not only the biggest mitzvah, but the biggest mizakeh harabim, the biggest chesed that a person can do for Klal Yisrael is learning Torah. So that's how I want to answer the kasha that was posed to the Shemin HaTov a little over 400 years ago. That we're asking Hashem to answer us in the zechut of Moshe, Mashui Memecha, that Moshe Rabbeinu understood that he's a survivor and why he's a survivor, and that's a zechut. It's a zechut that he realized it and he lived it up to it to the utmost that could be imaginable. We're not here for ourselves. The Perashat HaShavua that's coming now, Perashat Nitzavim, talks about Berit. The Or Haim HaKadosh says that what's the Berit? They already went through a Berit. So he says, no. The first Berit was a commitment that Bnei Israel were committed that they would keep Torah and Mitzvot. The second Berit is to be responsible for the other. The Arvut, Kol Yisrael Aravim Zel Hazeh. And that's the Yesod of Yiddishkeit. The Yesod of Yiddishkeit is that we're not here for ourselves. We're here to help others, and that help should come from Ve'avta l'reacha kamocha. What do I mean to say? That sometimes we try to be mekarev, and we try to be ocheach tochiach. We try to correct people that are maybe doing things not correctly. So the Saba Mikelem Zal said that we have to be careful, because sometimes that urge is not coming from the V'avta l'reacha kamocha. It's coming perhaps from other motivations that we don't feel comfortable. The other guy, he doesn't make me feel comfortable. He's doing this, doing that. No, it has to come from ahava. And of course, as you know, the ocheach tochiach is not effective if it's not coming from ahava. The person that you're talking to, the person that you're trying to be mekarev, picks up. His antenna will report to him whether it's coming from ahava or it's coming because I make you uncomfortable, or other reasons. Along that line, the Saba Mikelem Zal points out that in the Torah, the inyan, or the chiyuv, of being concerned about my fellow Jews' ruchnius, right? Basically, we find one mitzvah, hocheach tochiach. Now, to be concerned about your fellow Jews' gashmiut, the Torah is full. It's full. Azov ta'azov, patoach tiftach, and on and on and on. So the Alter of Kelem says it's not because the gashmiut is more important, but the gashmiut is a test. If you are really concerned, you're worried about your friend's gashmius, then you're a candidate, you're certified, you're ra'ui to worry about his ruchnius. Right? There was an interesting incident that I always repeat. It happened with my father-in-law, that's all. He was once maybe he was out of town. I mean, he was not in a home base, Beis Medrash, in davening. And somebody came over to him after the davening and says, I see that you sit in Vayvarech David. So he says, why do you ask me where I'm going to eat breakfast today? So it wasn't stam a shtoch, he was conveying that musar, right? It's very nice, you're worried about my Vayvarech David, right? Wow, he says, but are you also worried about where I'm going to eat breakfast? So in those couple of words, that's the mimer of the Alter of Kelem. In short, we're not here for ourselves, we're here for Klal Yisrael. And also, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the vort of the Alter of Kelem concerning Rosh Hashana, concerning the Yemei Hadin. He quotes the Tur. The Tur says, the Tur brings a medrash, that Klal Yisrael is different. We're so different that in the world at large, a person who's summoned, he has to appear in Supreme Court, he has to appear in criminal court, whatever. He can't think about anything else, and he's all depressed and not in the mood at all to get dressed up and to. It's not celebrating anything because he doesn't know what's going to be. But Klal Yisrael, we're betuchim, and we take haircuts, and we bathe, and we put on new clothing, and we. So the Alter of Kelem points out what's going on. I mean, Yemei Adin v'Hamishpat, it's Ayom v'Norah. There's we're standing in Re'adah, we're standing in Emat Hadin. So how is it that we're betuchim? And it says the betuchim is Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael is batuach. The yochid is something else. The yochid has what to worry about. So then what's the point of the Midrash, right? The Klal Yisrael, right? The point is that we shouldn't be a yochid. The point is to be part of the klal. And as the Baalei Musar say, to be a ish she'arabim tzrichim lo. To be someone that the Rabbim needs, that we're vital to and needed and important to the welfare and to the good of the tzibur. Then we have the zechut of the tzibur. So we shouldn't be a yachid. Klal Yisrael as a whole, we know that Hashem has lots of demands on us. The Goyim have it so easy. Even if they would keep Sheva Mitzvot. But it's only Sheva Mitzvot. Even that, they don't keep. But what does Hashem expect of them? And what does Hashem expect of us? It's Dikduk Hadin. There was a line in the Selichot that bothers me. I don't know the pshat. I'll suggest the pshat. And again, I don't know if it's emes. But we say in the Selichot, and I'm sure that it's in the Nusach Hashkanaz also somewhere, right? Ashamnu mikol am. So you're going to translate it. We're the biggest sinners more than all the goyim. I can't swallow that. I can't take it. Look around. I mean, Baruch Hashem, Am Yisrael, we're the Shoshana ben Hachochim. So I'm thinking maybe it means not we're the biggest sinners, right? Ashamnu means that we're held responsible. The concept of Hashem means that to blame, but it's also responsible, right? We're accountable. We're more accountable than any other nation. And that's reflecting the special relationship that we have with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That relationship was brought out in last week's parasha, and the Orach Haim develops it beautifully, that Hashem He'amircha, that He designated, separated us, put us in a special category of Am Segula, and we in turn, He'amarta, we are Meyached, Hashem Echad. As we say, Atah Echad, V'Shimcha Echad. Maybe some of you know my old shmooze over here, that in the Nusach Sephardim, what do we say? Atah Echad, V'Shimcha Echad, Umi Ke'amecha Ke'Yisrael Goy Echad Ba'aretz. Nusach Ashkenaz, and I think some Sephardim, it's one kaf is enough. Atah Echad V'Shimcha Echad, Umi Ke'amcha Yisrael. No, that would be fine. Umi Ke'amcha Yisrael. We have a Nusach, Umi Ke'amcha Ke'Yisrael. So I wanted to say that it's because it's really two thoughts. Mi Ke'amcha, stop. Before we get Ke'Yisrael, the greatness of Am Yisrael, the Rachmanim, and the Gemonlech Hasidim, but Mi Ke'amcha. Where do you have a nation? Borei Olam has billions of people in the world, billions. But he has one Am. One Am Yisrael. We are the Am Hashem. We carry the banner. We reflect the Kavod Shamayim in this world. That's Mi Ke'amcha. And then Ke Yisrael, also the Ma'alot of Klal Yisrael. So, with that special love that Hashem has for us, L'netzach Nitzachim, it's also occurred to me that maybe a little difference in the Nusach Sfaradim and Ashkenazim. I'm not saying that Sfaradim is better. I'm just pointing out a little difference. We say in the Ma'ariv, Ve'avatcha ve'chamatcha lo tasur mimenu le'olamim, right? Lo tasur. And Nusach Ashkenaz is al tasir. Again, it's elu ve'elu divrei Elokim Chaim. But the difference is, al tasir is a plea. It's a bakasha. Hashem, please don't take away your love, right? And in our Nusach, what are we saying? Lo tasur. It's a fact. It's a fact. We're guaranteed. Moshe Rabbeinu worked it out after at the time of the Chet HaEgel, right? The time of Chet HaEgel, Moshe Moshe Rabbeinu worked it out. Hashem said, I'm soleach. Said to Moshe, finished? Moshe said, no, I'm not finished. Was noch? What else? He says, I want your Shekhinah to be with us. He said, you got it. Now, okay, Gamarnu? Moshe said, no, I'm not finished. I want Berit Kirutah, that your Shekhinah is with us no matter what, that it's Niflinu, that not by the Goyim, even if a situation should arise that there's a nation of Tzaddikim, Goyim of Tzaddikim, and we're not so good, right? We're it. He was Po'el that also. So we say, Lo Tasur, right? We have it forever. I'm sure that Nusach Ashkenaz has a Yesodot be'Harei Kodesh, but so with that ahava comes the responsibility. With all of the ahava that Hashem has for us, the Am Segula, it's tremendous when we think of His love, the ahava. With that comes the chiyuvim, comes that Hashem expects more from us. The fact that He's expecting more, that's our shevach. That's our shevach. That reminds us that we are special. So going into the Yemei Adin VaMishpat, we have to remind ourselves who we are. That Ashreno, that we're part of Klal Yisrael. That we have chiyuvim to be anshe rabim rather than yechidim, and to understand. Yes, there's Emat Hadin and all of this because that comes with it. That comes with it with the special relationship, the yachas that we have with the Kadosh Baruch Hu of that ahava. Rabbi Elchanan Wasserman, he says, we say in the first beracha of the Amidah in Avot, Umevi goel livnei v'nehem leman shemo. Leman shemo, that even if Chas Shalom we're not so deserving, but He's bringing the goel leman shemo, but be'ahava. It says be'ahava, not grudging or okay, I'll do it for my sake. Hashem says no. Even if it's leman shemo, but it's be'ahava, and we know that in the Sidurim. It says over there, this is a place for a person to be thinking about being ready for Kiddush Hashem, right? But I think it goes together. When we realize the be'ahava that Hashem has for us, that's a hitorerut, that zelu umazeh, the be'ahavta Hashem okecha b'chol nafshecha comes as a result of the hitorerut, the awareness of how much Hashem loves us. Baruch Hashem, all Bnei Torah and Oskim b'Torah, Torah Hashem, what could be better? Chazal tell us that im en derech eretz en Torah, im en Torah en derech eretz. So where does it begin? I think the pshat is that there's a basic derech eretz, that menschlichkeit we call it, right? The mensch, as a prerequisite of Torah, but then Torah itself brings us to a higher level of derech eretz, of midot tovot, of sensitivity, especially ben adam lachavero. As we know, that's typical of Bnei Torah and of Gedolei Torah for sure. Gedolei Torah goes together. We hear stories about Gedolei Torah. Not only they're godless in Torah, but they're godless in ben adam lachavero, right? And I want to say that when Chazal say, Chochma bagoyim ta'amin, Torah bagoyim al ta'amin, it doesn't mean only literally the Torah that they can't understand the piece of Gemara, which they can't, right? But the effect of Torah, the Torah of the en Torah and derech eretz, the impact, the hashpa'ah of Torah, Torah personality, right? To mold a person into such sensitivity of a higher level of derech eretz that they have no shaykhs. Right? And go back to what I said a few minutes ago. What does Hashem expect of them? Many years ago, I read a story that Abraham Lincoln, honest Abe, right? Abraham Lincoln, he was a young man. He was walking in the forest, cold, freezing winter day, right? And he sees somebody, maybe a drunk, lying on the road, and he says, oh no, he says, if I walk by, for sure he's going to freeze to death. He didn't walk by. Right? Who would say this about anybody, Pasha Tabal boss, right? It's almost an insult. Right? But Abraham Lincoln, right, from the Gedolim, what could he say about him? He didn't let the guy freeze to death. Right? And that's a shevach, yeah. But Hashem expects a little more from us. So, going into Rosh Hashanah, we should be zocheh to have the hargosha of Hashem Melech. It's all about malchut, and B'ezrat Hashem, if we do it right, Kadosh Baruch Hu takes care of the avadim. We should be zocheh to be Abdei Melech, and to be zocheh together with all of Klal Yisrael to Ketivah v'Chatima Tova. Baruch atah Adonai L'olam she'akol nהיה b'ro. גדל שמדמה עמא דיברה גרתה ועמדי חמתה עצמה כהני קרב משיחי חי יכול גם יכול ויכול בישראל ועלה זמן קרי ואמרו אמן
Ela min kol b'chasav shir asat sh'chasav nachman sadam l'amba ma'amru amen. Yisrael